Well, why don't we kickstart instead day 2 with an inspirational session by a very inspiring personality indeed. She's a role model, a go-getter, who's here to share her top tips on how to keep yourself and your team motivated in challenging times. She's a well-known entrepreneur who holds several roles under her belt, including being the youngest board member of the Sharjah Chamber of Commerce and Industry, handpicked by the ruler of Sharjah, His Highness Sheikh Dr. Sultan bin Mohammed Al Kazmi. She's also a board member of the UAE SME Council at the Ministry of Economy, Dubai. Please give a very, very warm welcome to Her Excellency Sara Al Madani.
Good morning, everyone. Is this on? Okay, I have 3 mics on, so I don't know which one's working. Good morning, everyone. I hope everybody had breakfast. I did. I didn't miss that out. And today, the topic, as I was informed, is leadership and how to build teams as leaders. Now, how many people practice what they preach? Because the topic of leadership is trending. Everyone says, I'm a leader, but who is really actually a leader? And are you a leader or a manager? Because there's a big difference between being a leader and a manager. A manager just manages behind closed door, while a leader does much more than that. Being in business since I was 15 and being involved in so many government entities, I learned a lot about leadership. Definitely, I took a lot of courses about leadership. I actually took a course once in London called 100 Ways to be a Leader. It was insane, 100 ways to be a leader. Nothing resonated in me from what I learned. Took a couple of more courses around the world about leadership. Nothing resonated in me. And then I sat down and I handpicked from each place I've been to a couple of things that really resonated from each person I heard speak about leadership, and I applied it in my entity, and it worked. And there are about 5 or 6 things. Now, first of all, let me give you my definition of leadership. A leader is someone, now listen carefully, a leader is someone that pushes a group of people to follow their own vision. Now listen to this, their own vision, pushes people to follow their own vision. Sounds a bit selfish, right? Yet, helps them to grow as they go. Now there is the unselfish part of being a leader. So this group of people, which is the team, your member, your staff, your colleagues, they're supposed to support you and take you towards your goal. But at the same time, they need to learn, grow, and just grow as they go. And this is your part as a leader. Another thing I learned is that leaders should be ready to serve. What does that mean? Whatever job you have in your entity, from the top CEO to the coffee boy to the cleaner, which to me are all respected positions and they're all jobs in the end, right? From the top CEO positions to the cleaner's position to the coffee boy, a leader should be able to do them all. I'll give you an example. When I go to work and my staff are, for example, my team are working late, I do coffee for them, sometimes I cook for them, I go have lunch with my other team in my restaurant sometimes. So being a leader is not just about that vision or that person that is way up there, that is unapproachable or unreachable behind closed doors. If that's who you are, then you're completely not a leader. So a couple of things that I've learned, that as I told you, that I picked up as I learned, which out of like 110 things to be a leader, I picked up like 5 things or 6 things that really resonated, and they're very simple. And anybody can do them, but they never cross our mind because they are very simple. We always look for these complicated things that make us leaders. Another mistake managers do that preach about being leaders is that they suppress talents. So if you have someone who's working for you that is doing amazing and is amazing talent and they are rich with information and knowledge, you can't keep them as a hostage. If that person found an opportunity somewhere else to grow, you have to let them go. Being a leader is about teaching people how to be a better version of themselves, whether they are with you or not with you or somewhere else. And this is something that lacks in a lot of entities. You make the person feel like he is a hostage to you. And therefore, the performance slows down, and then the value of what they give just drops. And then you wonder as a leader, oh, what happened? Well, you happened. So we need to be very careful about how we treat people. And I say a lot of leaders lack emotional intelligence. And not only leaders, a lot of businesses, a lot of entities lack emotional intelligence. How to make people feel valuable? emotionally, so they can always give and support you and perform the best they can. This thing lacks. So I'm dyslexic, so I wrote some points down so I wouldn't forget. So some of the things that I've learned about being a leader, very simple points. You guys will go like, oh, but that's easy. It is easy to be a leader. So the first thing that I've learned is to be aware of your own work. Can I walk around? Will this follow me? Yeah? Is this working? Okay. So it's very important to be aware of how you work. How am I performing? Okay, I am a leader. My intention is in the best place. But am I doing a good job? Am I actually performing well? A lot of leaders don't measure their own performance, and they think it's a weakness to measure your own performance. Every now and then, check on your skills. Get feedback about how you work. I'll tell you what I do. I sit with my team sometimes, individually. And I tell them, so do you guys like what I'm doing? Is there anything I need to do? Is there anything I'm missing? Now, a lot of people won't do it thinking, hey, it's going to make me look so small in front of an employee while I'm supposed to lead and right now I'm lost. No, you are getting feedback on your own performance. Having the right intention is good, but that doesn't mean you're doing the right job. You need to check your performance every now and then. And it's important to get checked by others and checked by yourself on how you're working and how you're doing things. So this is the first thing. A lot of people don't do it because ego comes in the way. Now, a leader has less ego and more of like creativity, more of other things in their pocket than just ego. The second thing is get to know your employees. Invest the time. It's called emotional intelligence. And get to know them. Get to know everyone personally. What does that person do? What does this person do? And this way, you'll know how to utilize their talent in the right way. What do you know about each employee or each team member that is around you? What do you know about their values, about what they can do, about their weakness? A lot of leaders don't know anything. They just know them by name, and sometimes don't even know them by name. So you need to understand what is the talent, what is that person, who's that person, what drives that person, because the leader knows when to push the button and how to push it. So if you know your team very well and you're invested and they see you're investing your time into understanding them emotionally and personally, that's when the performance goes higher, the values towards what they do grows bigger. So it's very important. It's called emotional intelligence, to actually invest in your team and get to know them personally, on a personal level. You don't need a middle person to tell you these things. Now, a lot of leaders, now this is the third point, a lot of leaders don't know they don't have a clear vision of who does what, where, and why. And that's very important. Now, if you do step 2, which is investing in knowing them, when you come to step 3, you will know how to spread them around as a system. It's like a football game. Okay, Muhammad, when the ball comes to you, you need to stop it. Khalid, keep your eyes open. When Muhammad pushes the ball, you give the ball to Sara. So it's like a football game. It's a sport. Basically, if you look at your team as sports team members, it makes a lot of sense. So it's important to understand the system. And once you know and you invest in your team and you understand how they are and how they work and their dynamics, it'll be so easy to tell them, you here, you there, you stop here. I know you can't do this, so let's stop here and we'll learn this later. So it just makes the work more efficient and just more clearly. You know how to utilize people the right way. Now, a lot of times I've heard of people letting go of people. Like, for example, in your entity, you let go of a person and I ask, why did you let go of Fatima? They go like, because she didn't know how to do X, Y, Z. Okay, what if Fatima knows how to do A, B, C? And you have that in your entity. So instead of taking people out, rotate them, find their talent, spend time in knowing and understanding, and in this way, everything falls in the system. It's very important. And to me, at all my companies, I have 6 companies, all of them, what we do is, we play it as a sport. It's a football team for everyone. Everyone knows the role and knows when to attack and when to start moving and when to push their talent. And I know when to push their buttons and when to stop. So invest your time in knowing your team. Next point is be proactive with feedback. A lot of leaders wait until a problem happens. Hey, how come no one came to the event? How come no one got their invites? Why didn't the invites reach on time? Well, you need to be proactive. You need to find the problems before they even start. You need to give proactive feedback all the time. And in this way, zero problems happen or zero mistakes happen. And by the way, this is not the problem of an employee. This is the problem of a leader. Because mistakes happen. Employees do mistakes. Team members do mistakes. We're humans, right? But a leader, if he was proactive with his feedback, look, before you call them, make sure that they will follow up. So giving these proactive feedback is very important for a team. And don't wait until a problem occurs, because that's not the right way to do it. And then there's 2 points. One, actually, the last point is my favorite point. There's one point before the last point, and which is acknowledge and reward. People love to be rewarded. If this person did a good job, if this person said something good, if this person got you a good feedback or anything, reward them. Give them anything. It can be anything. A lot of companies say, oh, well, I don't want to give any cash rewards. Look, man, it's up to you. You can give a T-shirt at the end of the day. But people love to be acknowledged. You know what I mean? They love to be recognized for what they do, because human nature, you want to be praised for everything you do, because you're putting a lot of heart and effort into what you do. Now, last point. Celebrate regardless. When you have a success in your company, I've seen a lot of leaders, what they do is they don't celebrate. Not now, we're going through financial crisis. Not now, we have a lot of other work to do. We'll do it in the end of the year. Let's celebrate in the end of the year. No, you need to drop, stop, and roll. You need to celebrate. And this is my favorite part of being a leader. Whenever I have anything happening in the company, I'm like, guys, everybody out. Let's go have dinner. Let's celebrate. And in this way, you are bonded as a family. And in this way, there is no boundaries between you as a leader and between you as a team. And I always say, when team works, dream works. Without these people, nothing happens. And when you are selecting a team, which might sometimes take you a year, it took me 2 years to select a team for one of my entities. It takes time, but when you are selecting a team, take your time, invest your time in them, and select them based on their ethics, their knowledge. I have team members who had no knowledge, zero, in what I hired them for, but they were on fire. Like the energy these people had were on fire. So I was like, you know what? I don't mind taking you and investing and teaching you, because this is what leadership is about. It's investing in in people. And that's very important. And as I said, do not treat people as hostages. They're not trees with roots in your entity. If they found better opportunities, go. I always say that whenever any employee comes up to me and says, hey, listen, I found a better opportunity, it hurts, but I always tell myself, look, imagine a sibling or your own child being at an entity, finding a better position and wanting to move, and they have the right to grow. And imagine someone like holding them as hostages or manipulating their rights just to keep them in the entity. This is very wrong. This is zero leadership skills. So treat each other equally. And if you're a leader, be ready to serve. Because if you're not ready to serve, you're not a leader. And please, I know it's trending in a lot of places, and especially on social media, it's trending. But practice what you preach is very important. And in the end of the day, I'm just going to say one thing. When you are a leader, you serve from your heart. And I love to say that in every speech I give. You serve from your heart. And what does serve from your heart mean? It means that when I'm working or when I'm doing anything, whether I'm a team member or whether I'm a leader, I serve from my heart, which means that I'm not working for people, I'm working for myself. I am my own brand, yet I'm never letting my brand down. So if I take on a job that, for example, ends up doesn't paying well, I took the job. I took that opportunity. I accepted that. Now this is your brand. Don't let your brand down. Don't let yourself down, because there is a higher power, much more than just working for individuals. It's doing it for yourself. You are you. Don't let yourself down. So whether you're a team member or a leader, you all have roles to play, and it's a collaboration. It's not, a lot of leaders treat it as if it's a competition. So I always say, you do not compete, you complete each other. Leader to team, team to leader. And always remember that when team works, dream works. Thank you so much.
Fantastic presentation there. Thank you so much for such amazing advice. Do we have time for some questions?
Yeah, sure.
Is
you
that
guys
okay?
want a Q&A session? Oh my God, I actually got off.
Does anyone have any questions for Her Excellency this morning?
Or was I so clear that no one has a question?
Yes, we have a gentleman in the back. If you'd like to tell us who you are and where you're from as well, please.
Thank you, Your Highness, for a wonderful presentation. I think
Excellent.
the leadership qualities probably start for me at home, and being the family earner. At every point of time, you're also doing the leadership qualities at your home, probably guiding your wife, guiding your kids. But there's a different approach when you're a leader at a home and at your profession. I just wanted to understand in your journey of leadership, because you have so much of experience, I'm sure there has been peaks and downs, yeah? Most of the leaders will always like to enjoy the leadership success and celebrate with the team. But how do you manage the stress at times when the leadership is not coming into action as the leader in the way the leader wants to? Because at times it's very challenging to get your team to perform at all times or throughout the journey. So how do you manage the stress, and how long the leader can afford to be in that downturn and quickly come back to the momentum so that the team comes back?
So you're asking me about life-work balance?
Yeah.
It doesn't exist. It's a myth. Whoever told you life-work balance is real, it's complete nothing. It doesn't exist. Everybody builds their balance based on their time. So whether you are a mother, whether you are married, whether you are single, your balance is different. Whether you have 2 kids, 4 kids, 5 kids, the balance is different. Whether you are married with no kids, the balance is different. So whoever wrote this book about life-work balance, please, can you tell me where he lives? Because it doesn't exist. You cannot give enough time to both things in life. You have to be the manager of your life and decide how much time each needs. And I'll give you an example. I'm a single mother. So the time I give my son and my work takes most of my time, but my son gets my time as well. So I don't consider myself a bad mother or a bad person because I'm giving 70% to work, because whatever I'm doing at work, I'm creating a life for my son in the future. I am creating a better quality of life to educate my son and to give him a better quality of life. So there's a lot of sacrifice that goes in between. So all I'm gonna say is I failed a lot. Yes, and I'm proud, because I wouldn't have been who I am today if I haven't failed. Failure is if there is a step to success, like a staircase, one step is called failure, and you cannot jump that. You will step on it and you will fall back, but you have to get up and go. And I failed a lot, I've learned a lot, because failure is a missing ingredient. Picked myself up, dusted myself, and started all over again. And you don't discover your talents unless you fail. So a lot of people take failure as something that is misfortunate or like something embarrassing, because we grew up with all our cultures, no matter where we're from, that failure is not something we talk about. No, this is wrong. Failure is something we do talk about, because how can people relate to you? So I failed a lot trying to have this work-life balance, but in the end, I achieved it, and I realized, why am I stressing myself? Why am I trying to be like everybody else, or like what everyone else, or what people say online or on books, that you have to be a perfect person, 50% here, 50%, it doesn't work like that. Create your own balance and feel happy about it, and don't listen to anybody. So it's very easy, whether you're at home, whether you're in business. And to be honest, you have 24 hours a day. You can do wonders in 24 hours, but people choose not to, and people choose to believe not to. Like, I can't. If you tell yourself I can't, then you never will. So it's always what you tell yourself at the end of the day as well. I always tell myself I will and I shall. I never say I can't. And if I fail, I fail. At least I tried, right? Yeah. Did I answer your question?